Yeah, with Wendy Schollum, who's a Hastings District Councillor. Wendy, just in terms of, you mentioned shared services, is there anything more that the Hawke's Bay councils could do in terms of shared services? And how does that look for you?
I think there's lots of areas that we can work together as a region to get better outcomes. For many years, in fact, our chief executives have been meeting regularly and talking about shared services. This is not a new conversation.
No.
At the moment, we've got shared services and things like IT, and that's delivered really great returns and outcomes for our wider region. But there are other areas where we've got ongoing conversations too around things like our building consents area. There's lots of different areas that we could come together as a region, and I think never has been such a good time as to have those conversations than now, because we're already as respective councils and areas coming together for recovery. So I'm actually really heartened by the attitude of all the councils locally. We're all looking for how we can do things better, more efficiently, and save the ratepayer money.
Because one of the things I often hear from people is like, why can't you have the same dog fees, the same building consents, all of that? And it's something that, as you say, has been discussed. Why hasn't it been done at this stage? Why do you think we
Oh,
aren't further than we should be?
oh, look, I think in times gone by, which wasn't that long ago when we weren't in a recovery context, if you didn't have buy-in from the whole region, it was really hard to do these things. So you
Yeah.
might have some councils who are really keen to do it and others that weren't for various reasons. I think now's definitely the time for those conversations because now we are very actively working together. If I even
Yeah.
just think about last week, our region's leaders coming together with NZTA and securing the extra 90 million towards our roading recovery as a
Yeah.
region. We are working actively together as a region. So yes, now is the time for all of those conversations.
Yeah. Do you think that the system of local government is broken?
Oh, that's a really challenging question.
Mhm.
No, I don't think at its absolute heart it's broken, but I definitely think there are challenges. The local government reform review that was done highlighted a number of areas in which we can operate better at a local government level. And it included things which, by the way, I'd love to see, especially in our recovery context right now, which is the return of GST from government and whatnot. I think those are conversations that definitely need to be had, especially when you look at our recovery versus, say, the recovery of an area that was hit like Christchurch. In that context, central government came in and picked up the whole voluntary buyout process 100% and all of that sort of stuff. And we're in a new context here where we're being left to fund 50% of that. So I think those conversations definitely need to happen right now.
And now the big question, do you think amalgamation is the way forward?
um, the last time we had this conversation, which I think was 2015, wasn't it?
That's correct, yeah.
So in 2015, I was living in Hastings, as I still do, and I was running a business in Napier, a software development company. And I had no idea that I would end up in any form of politics. But even back then, as a homeowner in one area and a business owner in another, I saw the benefits, the potential benefits to amalgamation. The thing that I want to really emphasize, though, is while my personal views are that that's a conversation worth exploring, we also need to bear in mind that we're elected to serve our people, and it's for our people to tell us whether or not that's something they want us to do and for us to listen. I also believe it's really important that these conversations don't just happen around election cycles, around election time, because then they become very disingenuous conversations and they should be couched in facts and benefits to our community, not politicking. So that's probably as far as I want to go right now, because otherwise I'm going to fall into the very trap that I'm criticizing others for. I think it's critically important that these conversations happen at the right time and the right way with the right facts.
So if there was an appetite for it,
Hmm.
how do you think, because the last proposal was Wairoa, the regional council, Napier, Hastings, and Central Hawke's Bay. Do you think that is an unwieldy model, or would you see there is potential for maybe just Napier and Hastings, or if there was the appetite out there for it, what would you see as the best solution?
I think to answer that would be a bit cart before the horse. I would be
Mm,
asking our staff to show me the figures, to show me
mm,
the numbers, to show me the return. So for me to make that decision right here and now without information would be poor decision making.
yeah.
So that's what I'd be asking for, Andrew, is show me what the model looks like with us all. Show me what it looks like with just the urban and maybe the regional area, council. Show me what it looks like if we pull in CHB. Show me. We'd have to look at them all and then really critically analyze that information and the impact on the ratepayer.
Either way, do you think that central government needs to be contributing more to local government?
Look, I absolutely, I really do. I'm a I'm a certified commissioner as a separate hat that I wear. So aside from being an elected member, I take that off occasionally and I put on my commissioner hat and sit on resource consent hearings. And as a result of that, I have to start with the play on things like national policy statements that central government put in place. And what I see time and time again is central government coming up with a strategic vision for our country, which is sometimes a really great vision, but then imposing the delivery of that or an aspect of that on local government without funding streams to complement. And my entire time on council, that's been a big bugbear for me because it unfairly burdens the local ratepayer then when actually it's a national view and a national objective, so it should be paid through taxpayer dollars, not ratepayer dollars. So yeah, definitely. And when it comes to the recovery that we're doing, we are incredibly grateful for the funding that we have received from central government, without a doubt. But our community needs more. We cannot bear the full burden of our recovery costs that we've got projected out, and we cannot meet the debt levels that we've projected in our LTP, nor should we. It's not a target, it's a worst case scenario, and we need to do much better because our community needs headroom too. We don't know what else is coming in the future, and we need to make sure we can be resilient in the future too.